welcome. It's beginning of May and I'm just going to give a review of my CB500x, which I purchased early in the summer of 2022. There's some really good stuff, a couple of bad things, and just some stuff that you might like to know that I've done to the bike, some bits and bobs that I've updated or changed. So here we go. The reason I purchased it, and probably the best thing about this bike for its size, is it's very frugal. So I tend to ride on country roads to work. I do a commute of about 15 miles each way, mainly country roads. Maximum speeds I'm doing are probably 50 miles an hour, but my average miles per gallon I'm getting 70, 75, even 80 miles to the gallon, which is pretty amazing. However, if you do hit the motorways, the miles per gallon drop off drastically. Also the speedo reads high, so your miles per gallon that it actually gives you on the readings are optimistic, to say the least. About 5% over is realistic. So that's the really good thing about it. It's a Honda, so it's reliable, etc., etc. The bad thing is the headlight. As I said, I ride through country lanes, and when the nights drew in, it just was not man enough for the job. The only solution was to put auxiliary lights. So what I fitted was a pair of Zamoon mini spots, really cheap, 6,000 lumens. We're in a really bright day today, so I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I fitted a three-way switch, so this here, that's on for the yellow day running lights, then an off, and then an up for a high beam. So if I turn it on at the front, given the fact it's a really bright sunny day and you probably shouldn't be able to see anything at all, you can see that what you see is the Zamoon spots and you can't even see the headlight. It's on, but you wouldn't really be able to see easily. I mean, these are a brilliant yellow colour compared to the headlight, which is just poor. So that's a brilliant solution. Cost wise, the actual lights came in at about £30. All the wires, the relays, the connectors, the inline fuse, all that stuff probably cost me an extra £50 on top of that. So that was good. The other thing that I didn't really like were the labels or the decals, and they're all stick-on. So rather than having it painted on, that's part of Honda's cost saving, why the bike is so cheap. The other thing is, every single extra costs a lot extra on this Honda. So whatever it is, it's a very basic bike. It comes with very few extras. So if you want extras, you're going to pay through the nose for it. The third thing I didn't really like was the adjustment for the front screen. It uses Allen keys, and you can't do it on the fly, so it's a bit of a pain if you want to adjust it. So what did I do with my bike and how did I set it up? Well, initially I went out and bought the comfort pack. That includes the center stand, which is very useful if you're going to be checking your chain. It includes the heated grips, which come with the Honda on-off switch here. It comes with the 12-volt socket down here, which has got a great cover on it, but I'm not sure how you'd use it if you actually wanted to charge something in the rain. And wind deflectors, which are now nicely hidden behind my crash bars. The other thing it came with was the Honda hand guards. They were pretty good at keeping the wind off above 50 miles an hour, but below 50 miles an hour they were useless, and they offered no protection for the handlebars. So I actually removed these and put on a set of bark busters, which actually protect the ends of the handlebars and the levers if you do drop your bike. And the Storm version covers more of the hand, so you're actually going to get a little bit more protection. So looking at those things, the heated grips are quite nice. I'm someone who suffers from very, very cold fingers, and so to have heated grips seemed like a really good idea. In hindsight, I'm not sure that buying the Honda ones was cost effective. They're very, very expensive compared to things like the Oxfords. I'm not sure they're going to be any better. They're slightly neater on the handlebars, but I'm not sure that it's significant enough to make a difference. I think in hindsight, I probably would have bought the Oxford grips and maybe a pair of heated gloves for when it got colder as well, because really the heated grips are great for giving a little bit of extra warmth sort of on cold summer nights, but I'm not sure, or cold mornings, but I'm not sure that they would be particularly useful, or they weren't particularly good under about 7 degrees. And I found that also if I went up to a bigger glove size, sort of a more winter glove, the heat didn't come through anyway. So it's a swings and roundabouts thing. You have to decide that for yourself. So having done that, I was pretty much all set. The only thing left was I needed a top box. I went with Jivy, fitted the bars in the top box, 47 litre. It's a good size. It takes a helmet plus a pair of waterproof trousers and a lightweight waterproof jacket if it's folded neatly, so it's pretty good. I then decided that because the lights were so poor, I would fit the Zamoon lights. I needed somewhere to mount them. I also thought it would be a sensible thing to have some crash bars, so I fitted these Outback crash bars. Instructions were pretty straightforward, no problems at all with that. The other thing that I noticed, which was a bit of a shortcut or something they missed off, was down under here the shock absorber wasn't covered, so it's not really very clear in this light, but you can probably see under there I've actually made a little bracket and mounted piece of plastic which I've moulded so that it slides neatly down between the swing arm and doesn't actually damage it. And that fully protects the shock absorber, which is in here. You can just about catch the edge of it, but it protects from all the mud coming off or water coming off the tyre. Doesn't go on the shock absorber anymore. I've rounded it so that the water doesn't just fly off the sides onto the chain, but is actually channeled down under the tyre. The other thing I found was the top box, just about here, all up the key, was getting covered in mud because the back tyre, there's no proper mud guard on it. So again, I made a little extension that sits underneath. You can see it from the other side. Just mounts underneath. Slightly moulded at the bottom again. Both this and the anti-splash guard for the shock absorber were made out of an old 25 litre chlorine canister in black, which was quite easily cut with a Stanley knife or a pair of tin snips, and then moulded with a heat gun to allow it to be shaped to the shape I wanted it. So that's where we are with it. The only other thing to mention really is the comfort of the saddle. A lot of people have, in the reviews I read leading up to buying it, said it was very comfortable for longer rides. I have to say, when I've done longer rides, I've not found this to be the case. It was not as comfortable as I would have hoped. I think the main reason for this is I'm very lightweight and skinny, so I'm 5'11" tall and only weigh 10.5 stone, so I'm pretty bony in the nether region. And after I went back and re-watched the reviews, most of the reviewers seem to have a little bit more natural padding than I do, so that might be the difference. So if you're tall and skinny, it's not going to be quite as comfortable as if you're slightly larger in the backside area. Having said that, having ridden it now since last summer, I actually don't find it too bad. It's certainly perfectly fine for commuting. I just wouldn't want to spend too many hours on it during the day. I think I might consider doing something else with the padding, but it's too early in its life to start messing with it like that, so we'll see how it goes. I hope this has been useful, and I might well one evening do a short video on how different the lights look with just on the drive at night time. But yeah, in the country roads, it made all the difference. It made it from a sort of hardly usable machine to fantastic to ride through the country lanes. Last thing that's worth mentioning is the foot extension. It makes a huge difference when you're parked on gravel or softer material. Really costs so little and just gives you that extra stability and reassurance that you're not going to lose your bike into the gravel. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this has all been useful, and if I have a chance I might well make a video showing the lighting a bit better than I've been able to today. Thanks for watching.